Hey everybody, we're out in the rural area where I live in the northern Great Plains, and one of the most common plants you'll find in the shelter belt, some of the old farm type areas, is the common lilac. It's not as common as it used to be in nursery garden centers. There's just so many more improved varieties like the French hybrids, the Miss Kim, Bloomerang is another one on the scene, but the common lilac, probably one of the hardiest and toughest shrubs, can get up into that 8 to 10 feet. And the most common colors would be that lilac, that soft purple, but you're going to find white intermixed oftentimes. Them are the two most common colors, but it's such a durable, hardy plant, and that's why it was planted extensively in some of these older farm homesteads. One of the drawbacks if you're using it in a residential area is it does sucker, and it can really get out of hand quickly. That's one of the things that most people are going to shy away from in our smaller yards that we have now, that suckering habit. But it's actually, out in these rural areas, it's a benefit. One of the other drawbacks to the lilac, you can get powdery mildew, is a real common fungal disease, and there's some other fungal problems as well. So my favorite lilac is the Miss Kim. I think it's similar in shape. It doesn't get quite as large as the common lilac, but it also, on the Miss Kim, you get this purple fall color. And that's one of the things you typically aren't going to grow the common lilac for its fall color. It's mostly that showy spring bloom. Occasionally you're going to get some yellows, but oftentimes the common lilac, they're going to just freeze off green. But the common lilac, yeah, this is going to take some of the most punishing cold winters as well as the dry conditions that we can get. We live in an arid state, and we can get some drought times where there's several months where you can hardly get any rain. And these common lilacs, they're not going to look great when that happens, but boy, they'll survive and typically come back pretty well. Look at the size of this lilac here. Look how much bigger it is. Yeah, look at the size of this thing, pushing, I bet, over 15 feet tall. So there's a good possibility the lilacs we're looking at here, they could be into that Persian lilac. There's also a Chinese lilac. Sometimes the best way to tell on a lilac is by the bud. And right now we're in that transition where the new growth, we don't really have a bud to look at. So there's that possibility that we've got a few different varieties mixed in here, but again, they've got the same qualities, that toughness, that hardiness. So even those videos mostly about the common lilac, the Tatarian honeysuckle, look at that. Beautiful when in flower, has a really nice sweet smell to it. This is another one of the most common shrubs out there in shelter belts in the older part of our state. Now there's several different varieties of honeysuckles. You can find some of the more dwarf ones. Emerald Mound used to be a variety that was quite common in the nursery trade, and they fell out of favor, the bigger honeysuckles, because they got something called a witch's broom, and it was caused by an aphid. You would get this dead growth and curling on the top. So the nursery trade has got so many breeding programs, so many different shrubs that people have more interest in, like the hydrangea. Dozens and dozens of hydrangeas being introduced now with beautiful showy blooms. But if you've got an area, just kind of a natural area, the honeysuckle, great pollinator, tough hardy shrub, just durable beyond belief, just like the common lilac. So really, really a nice plant to grow. And I can't believe I haven't even mentioned the fragrance. One of the other main reasons we like to grow the lilacs, that lilac scent. There's just nothing like it. You can cut off a lot of those stems, put them in a vase of water, enjoy those blooms indoors as well. And as I'm walking through exploring here, I just happen to notice back here we've got one of the late lilac varieties. And the late lilacs, yeah, they're called late lilacs because they bloom later than the common. James McFarland is one comes to mind, kind of a pinkish. And the French hybrid lilacs offer even a wider range of colors, like this bicolored petal on Sensation, the bluish color on President Lincoln, or the reddish purple on the Charles Jolly French hybrid lilac. I have a couple other earlier videos on lilacs that I'll put in the description for you, where we cover some of the Japanese tree lilac varieties, as well as a closer look at the Miss Kim, dwarf Korean, and the Bloomerang lilac. That's all I've got for now. Thanks for stopping by Garden Hike. I appreciate it. We'll see you again next video.